So magic might be one of the most useful skills in the game, and somehow a lot of people put it off, which is crazy because once you start training it, you realize how much your account's being held back. So why should you even train magic? Magic isn't just a skill where you cast spells. Magic unlocks an enormous amount of teleports. Every region on the map basically has a magic shortcut once you get the right level, and the right spellbook. Once you've got your teleports sorted, the whole game becomes faster. There's a reason why a low level main and a maxed account can do the same tasks in completely different time frames. Half of it is mobility. And then there's utility spells that change how you train other skills. These aren't just magic methods, they're shortcuts plugged into crafting, smithing, and fletching. Leveling magic genuinely makes your account better at every other skill, not just magic. Your raw magic level directly bumps your DPS at any content where mage is used. And in regards to the quest cape, the highest level you need is 75. So magic isn't just useful, it's basically mandatory if you want to do anything beyond like sand crabs. So a quick rundown of the spellbooks. There are 4 spellbooks in the game. You'll end up using all 4 of these eventually, and they each have a specific use case. The standard spellbook is your default, wide mix of combat, utility, alchemy, enchantment, and teleports. You don't need to unlock this one, you have this straight away. You'll use this most often in the early to mid game. The ancient spellbook is unlocked after completing Desert Treasure 1. This is a combat spellbook with spells like Ice Burst, Ice Barrage, Blood Barrage, and Smoke Barrage, all the ones that have an AoE in multi-combat areas. It also has some solid teleports. This is the spellbook you'll be on for most fast magic training and for raids like TOB. You can swap between spellbooks at any altar in your house or the wilderness, or you can if you've got the magic cape. Whatever route you decide to take, I would suggest to do a few quests first. They're free magic XP and they don't take too long at all. The Witch's Potion gives you 325 magic XP. It takes like 3 minutes once you've got all of the ingredients. Imp Catcher gives you 875 XP. And it gives you an Amulet of Accuracy as the reward, which is basically a slightly worse version of the Magic Amulet, but it's free. If you want to push for further quests like Fairy Tale Part 1, this gives you 3.5k magic XP. Then the Grand Tree, which gives you just over 2000 XP. And then the Watchtower gives a massive 15,250 magic XP. But it's a longer quest with some requirements, so you can't do this on a fresh account. There's also the Lost Tribe and a few other quests that give chunky magic XP later on, but you'll naturally hit those during your quest cape grind anyway. Remember to use the Quest Helper plugin as it helps so much. Don't sit there reading the wiki guides for every quest. The Quest Helper exists, so why not use it? Congrats to this person on screen for winning the last bond giveaway. If you want to be entered for the next bond giveaway, be sure to sub to the channel, like this video, and comment down below your favorite magic training method, or just tell me how your magic training is going in general. Even though most of you watching are probably members, I'm going to quickly mention some free-to-play methods as I don't want to skip on these players. Free-to-play magic is the standard spellbook minus a chunk of the spells. You've got strikes, bolts, and blast spells for combat. You've got enchant level 1 and you've got telegrab, low alchemy, high alchemy, and a handful of teleports. Varrock, Lumbridge, Falador, that's pretty much your toolkit. In free-to-play after the Elemental Weakness update in May 2024, it's much better than it used to be. Certain monsters are weak to certain elements, up to 100% weakness, which effectively doubles as your damage and accuracy. Progression looks roughly like this. Cows or chicken at Lumbridge with strike spells from level 1 to about 17. And once you've got Windbolt at 17, skeletons in Varrock sewers are decent because they've got an air weakness. From 35 you get the Firebolt and you can use these on Moss Giants. They're weak to fire and they've got 60 HP, so you can leave them up between cast to AFK a little bit. From 50 magic onwards, Firebolt and then Fire Blast on Ice Giants, which have an 100% fire weakness. You will absolutely destroy these. At 55 you can do High Alchemy. This is the spell that changes everything in free to play. The base is 65 XP per cast. You can alch noted items, and depending on what you alch you can break even or sometimes make a small profit. Free to play is more limited on what's worth alching than members, but rune items, magic shortbows, and certain d'hide pieces all tend to be decent. And if you've heard of splashing, you can also do this in free to play. Find a low level monster that can't do any damage on you, a duck, seagull, the captured monk in Varrock Palace, auto cast a strike spell, and you've got an AFK method. It's slow, cheap, and really AFK. The Bryophyta staff is probably the best free-to-play magic weapon in the game. You get the essence as a drop from Bryophyta itself. Bryophyta's essence has a 1 in 118 drop rate, but you need 30 attack and 30 magic to wield it. But that's not too hard to get. It's a big upgrade if you can get this. And you can sell the essence for a decent amount of GP. But that's pretty much it for free to play. There's not too many options. So for members, this is where this skill opens up properly. The combat spells are the Strike, Bolt, Blast, Wave, and Surge. The standard spellbook for combat is mostly relevant in the early game for the elemental weakness training, and once you're past 50 magic, you've got better options unless you're abusing weakness. Curse, Weaken, Stun, Vulnerability. The standard spellbook then acts as stat reducing spells, used in conjunction with like High Alching or splashing while Alching, which is actually a thing. Stun in particular is good once you unlock it at 80 because the base XP is 90 per cast. Enchant 1 through 7 is also on the standard spellbook. This turns gems into enchanted jewelry, profitable at certain levels with the right gems. Sapphire rings of recoil is good early on, jade amulets when you can enchant them, all the way up to dragonstone enchants. I would say this is a good AFK option. You unlock a low alchemy at level 21. This turns items into a small amount of GP. Lower XP than high alchemy, but castable on stackable items like arrows, which means you can spam it without banking. It's definitely underrated for a low level training method. High alchemy is where it gets really good. You unlock it at level 55, and it's castable while doing pretty much anything in the game. Agility, herb runs, walking somewhere. If you're doing nothing else, then you can high alch every spare tick you have. You can use the telekinetic grab at level 33. This grabs items that's at a distance or items that you can't get. It's mostly used for specific money makers like grabbing Wines of Zamorak in the Chaos Temple, and occasionally gold from under the West Varrock Bank in free-to-play. It's niche, but it's worth knowing. Superheat item is pretty good as well. You unlock this at level 43 and it turns ore into bars without a furnace. It skips the need of a fire of any kind. It gives both magic and smithing XP. Iron is the standard for the magic XP angle. You also have Bones to Bananas and Peaches. It's on the standard spellbook, and Bones to Peaches in particular is decent for food supply during long bossing sessions. This is good for Ironman. Ancient spells like Rush, Burst, Blitz, and Barrage, these come from the ancient spellbook. Smoke, Shadow, Blood, and Ice variants of each. Burst and Barrage are the multi-combat AoE spells, and they're used for fast magic training and like the wilderness. You can also use it on Dust Devils, Necreals, and anywhere with stackable monsters. This is super useful at certain bosses. The lunar spells are Humidify, Plank Make, Spin Flax, Super Glass Make, Tan Leather, String Jewelry, Magic Imbue, Cure Me, Vengeance, and Energy Transfer. It's pretty much the utility spellbook. And then with the Arceus spellbook you get Thralls, Demonic Offering, Sinister Offering, Death Charge, and the Ward of Arceus. Thralls are the standout for boss DPS. The offerings are good for prayer XP, so if your only goal is 99 magic in the fastest way possible, this is the path. It's expensive, really expensive. We're talking like 100 mil plus in some scenarios. Level 1 to 10, like I mentioned before, just do quests. From level 10 to 17, the Wind Strike on cows or chickens, but you're going to be moving through these levels fast, so you're not going to be here for long. And then from level 17 to 49, you can push through with bolt spells on elementally weak targets. From level 49 to 55 is where it gets interesting. If you can afford it, enchant ruby bolts. Bolt enchanting is genuinely one of the fastest magic XP methods in the game, but for this you need to use tick manipulation. If you don't want to enchant bolts, you can do superheat items. Then you can move on to like Telealkin. From 55 to 71, Telealkin in Civitas Illifortis is amazing. This does require Children of the Sun for access to Varlamore, and 54 magic for the teleport spell. You alk noted item and teleport on the same tick. This gives you roughly 140 to 155k magic XP per hour, but it's obviously depending on your rhythm and latency. It's cheaper than barraging at this level and faster than straight high alkin. From level 71 to 99 you can use the Cure Me spell at the Araxite Cave. This is pretty much the meta right now and it's absurd. Go to the Araxite Cave near Darkmire, which is unlocked after a Night of the Theatre and access to Mauritania. Get venomed by a spider, then spam the cast Cure Me, which cost Astral and Lore runes to cast. Because venom reapplies constantly from multiple spiders, you can cast Cure Me continuously, which gets you over 400,000 magic XP per hour. The The cost is roughly 3 to 4 million GP per hour depending on the runes you pick, so this adds up pretty fast. If Cure Me isn't your vibe, then you can use Ice Barrage at Maniacal Monkeys, that's your alternative. Around 300 to 380,000 XP per hour, but you're also going to need some decent gear, and you also get hit points XP, which is great. It's slightly slower than the Cure Me, but cheaper, and you get other benefits. If you went the full Bolt Enchant route from 49 to 99, you can theoretically hit 99 in 30 hours of pure training time. But the cost is so severe that a lot of people do a mix. Bolt Enchant briefly to skip a few levels, and then use Cure Me or Ice Barrage from there. Roughly the full fastest route is level 1 to 99 in around 35 to 40 hours. And it's going to cost you over 100 million GP, obviously depending on the method you use. So now let's talk about the polar opposite. Let's say you're completely broke. You don't want to spend money, but you also want 99 magic. From level 1 to 10, just the same quest as always. From 10 to 27, you can enchant level 1 jewelry like sapphire or opal jewelry. Sapphire rings into rings of recoil is a safe bet and usually profitable. Opal necklaces into dodgy necklaces is sometimes more profitable but less stable. You gotta check the wiki for your margins before you commit. From 27 to 49, you can enchant level 2 jewelry like emerald or jade. Jade amulets enchanted into amulets of chemistry, these are really profitable. They're castable on a full inventory, so it's good for AFK time. And then from 49 to 55, you can enchant level 3 jewelry like ruby or topaz. Burning amulets are typically the play. They're less profit per cast than jade amulets, but generally the XP rates are higher. From 55 to 69, you can high out. Just pure high out on bulk buyable items. From 69 to 86, the ancient teleport tablets are amazing. This one is super underrated. Once you've got Desert Treasure 1 completed, you can make ancient teleport tablets at the ancient pyramid. Currently, Kirill tablets are usually among the most profitable. You're making great GP per hour while getting around 70 to 100,000 magic XP. From 86 to 99, you can do plank make on mahogany logs. This requires Lunar Diplomacy and Dream Mentor unlocked. Buy mahogany logs in bulk, cast plank make, and sell mahogany planks. The profit is usually around 300 to 500k per hour, and you're getting roughly 90,000 magic XP. The spell can be cast on a full inventory at once, and the cycle takes around a minute and a half, so it's not bad for some AFK time. The full profitable route takes around 140 to 160 hours, but at the end of it you've made 80 to 100 million in profit, which is very good to fund some bossing or some skilling with. And then there's the AFK route. This is the one where you don't really want to click much, you just want to watch a film, or you want to be on mobile while you do something else. From level 1 to 10, you guessed it, it's quests. From 10 to 35, strike spells on monsters that can't hurt you. Sand crabs, ammonite crabs, anywhere where you can just put on auto retaliate and chill. The key is having some food or high enough defense so that you can survive in the AFK window. Just cast your highest tier of strike spell. From 35 to 70, you can use water bolts on fire giants in the catacombs of Karen. This is pretty much the play. They're weak to water with 100% weakness. So Water Bolt or Water Blast absolutely destroys them. The Catacomb version has prayer restoration via the totem mechanic. Pretty much any prayer boosting gear setup works. Monk robes, God cape, God book. But once you're around 50 magic and you've done the family crest quest, the Chaos Gauntlets are huge. They boost the max hit of bolt spells by 3. They're free from the quest, and if you're using bolts at all, then I would suggest to get these. At level 70 to 99, Ice Burst at Maniacal Monkeys is amazing. It's the same spot as the fast route, but instead of running back and forth to stack the monkeys, you just stand in the middle and you auto cast your spell. The monkeys will pile naturally. The XP drops from like 350k an hour to maybe 180 to 220k per hour. But you're getting very long AFK windows, and this is thanks to Protect from melee and prayer enchanting supplies. If Maniacal Monkeys are too expensive, then AFK flashing is the alternative for true zero attention training. Autocast Windstrike on a low level monster. You're getting a measly 13k XP per hour, but it's basically no attention needed, no clicking needed. You're just re-attacking or re-clicking every 20 minutes when your aggro timer is over. For the full AFK route, level 1 to 99, you're looking at around 70 to 80 hours of in-game time. Real life time though, who cares, you've been watching Netflix the whole time. And then there's the recommended pathway. This is what I would do if I started a fresh main today. It's going to be a mix of the routes that we've mentioned. From level 1 to 10, it's the same again, quests. And then from 10 to 43, I would train via combat using elemental weakness. cows for the first few levels as it's fast and easy, then move to fire giants in the catacombs of Koren with water bolts as soon as you can. This is doing double duty as you're getting magic XP and hit points XP. From level 43 to 55 I would superheat iron. Get your smithing to around 29 if you haven't already, then superheat iron ore from 43 to 55. You're getting magic XP and some smithing XP per cast. From level 55 to 70 I would be at Scurious with the bone staff, or I would bank stand and high alch. Scurious is a mid-game boss with no quest requirements and is comfortable around the 60 to 80 combat level. You need to get a spine drop first by killing Scurious with any other combat style, then craft the bone staff using a Scurious spine. You need a battle staff and 5,000 coins. The bone staff gives an enormous damage boost against rats, and the giant rats in the boss room get one shot which gives you huge XP drops. You're getting strong magic XP and Scurious drops things that will cover your costs. From level 70 to 94 or 99 I would ice burst at maniacal monkeys. With entry level magic damage gear like Blood Bark, Occult Necklace, Virtuous Mask, the Kodai Wand if you can afford it, and maybe the Tormented Bracelet. From 94 to 99 you can ice barrage the maniacal monkeys. You're going to need a bit more of a bigger budget, but I would say it's worth it. It's around 25% more expensive per cast than burst, but at a higher max hit and noticeably more XP per hour. If money's tight then just keep bursting to 99. It's only a few hours difference to be honest. This pathway lands you at 99 in roughly 55 to 60 hours, while costing around 40 to 60 million. Magic really matters for bossing, because there's no point hitting 99 magic if you're not going to use it. For Zulrah, full magic phases require a powered staff. Trident is standard, but Sangstaff is better and Shadow is just amazing. Your magic level scales the damage of these powered staffs. So higher magic equals faster kills, which equals more GP per hour. For TOA or Tombs of a Mascot, magic is needed for several of the rooms. Akka mostly, and the Tumikin Shadow is god tier here if you can afford it, or if you've just been spooned the staff. But Sangstaff is the realistic option. In TOB or Theatre of Blood, magic is needed for a few things here, and it's also useful at Chambers of Xeric. Powered staffs are usually when magic level actually translates into good DPS. For Trident of the Seas it requires 75 magic, and 78 magic for the Trident of the Swamp. For the Sang Staff it requires 75, and for the Tumikin Shadow you need 85. Powered staffs scale damage directly with your current magic level and magic damage bonuses. If you're going to do any magic based PVM, you want at least a Trident of the Swamp and basic magic damage gear, Occult, Blood Bark or Arams. Also the Tormented Bracelet and Mage's Book. Magic in PvP is mostly about freezes and burst damage. The big one is Ice Barrage. You get a 19.2 second freeze in PvP and PvM. It's used in deep wilderness, clan fights, anywhere where you want to lock someone in place for a combo with melee or range. It's probably the single most important PvP spell in the game. Entangle, Snare and Bind is for lower level freezes. It's used for Tribid PKing where you don't really want to burn through runes. Vengeance from the Lunar Spellbook is amazing. It reflects 75% of the damage received back at the attacker. Capped at 75 damage reflected, is massive in PvP because you can Vengeance, take a big hit and absolutely destroy your opponent. Teleblock is great and terrifying. This is from the standard spellbook at level 85 magic. It blocks your target from teleporting away. And this is essential for PKing because otherwise they can just run and teleport. Forgotten Brews boost your magic level up to 8 plus 8% of your base magic level, while lowering melee stats. It's useful for unlocking a spell tier early. If you can boost to Ice Barrage instead of waiting naturally, that's going to save so many hours. Magic Potions and Divine Magic Potions are the standard 4+ boost. Battle Mage Potion gives +4 magic and defense. The Imbued Heart, which is expensive but really good, this gives a scaling percentage boost. These are all useful for boosting up to spells early, and for extra DPS. Always check the elemental weakness of what you're attacking. Adding 100% to your damage accuracy is the single biggest XP rate jump available, and most players don't really bother to check. The Tormented Bracelet is +5% magic damage. This is massive when bursting or barraging, worth buying early if you can afford it. The Occult Necklace isn't too expensive. It gives a +10% magic damage. I would say every method is worth knowing about. Fast, profitable, AFK and recommended, because you can pick the path that fits your account right now. Magic can be considered a long grind, especially if you're not just going to be paying and bursting for it. But it definitely pays off harder than basically any other skill in the game because of the utility, the teleports, the spellbook flexibility, and the raw DPS upgrades it gives you everywhere else. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to enter the bond giveaway. There's a link in the description if you want to join the Discord community. I hope you're having a good day, and until the next one, peace.